Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, What the Beck. Today I'll be showing you my past month of October in my bullet journal right now, and then I'll be going on to decorate November in my bullet journal. And yes, I did do a week upside down, but everyone makes mistakes and we just need to move on. So this month I wanted to do a space theme, and I don't really want to say it was inspired by any one thing. I just wanted to do something like more of a theme rather than just Halloween, because for October I kind of did Halloween as the theme just because it kind of lended itself to it, but I wanted to go back to doing like a theme like I did donuts, cats, and something else I already forgot, but you get the drift. Basically what I wanted to do was spell out the word November with the planets in our solar system, and this was actually kind of funny because last month I made a pumpkin out of a word, and then this month I made the word out of planets, which is kind of like my thing, I guess, but I promise all of my months won't be like this, but I guess it just kind of appeals to me. It's what I like. I like the creativity of morphing something else into a word. But so yeah, you can see me coloring in these planets, and it took me a really long time, and this is actually sped up 4 times as fast as I was coloring it, with some of the more dull parts edited out. And this took me probably like 45 minutes to color in, which it was totally worth it, but I'm kind of running low on time this week, but I was glad that I could just sit down and spend some time coloring it in. And I think this is actually the month where I've used the most supplies. Usually I only use my Inkjoy gel pen and maybe one colorful supply that kind of like goes along with it. But this month I used so much. I have a whole list in the description if you want to know what I'm using. And really I was just looking for the colors more than anything, because last month I did watercolor pencil, but I didn't really want to mess with so much paint this time and mixing the colors and stuff. So I just went for like markers and pens to color things in. And I think it turned out pretty well, and I actually like the mixed media look since it kind of looks like they're made of different materials like in our actual solar system. But I really don't have that much more to say about me coloring this in. Mainly I just tried to blend things together as best that I could, but I'm gonna just shut up now and you can listen to the music, and I'll be back once I'm done coloring in this page. And of course, we can't forget Pluto. I'm of the mind that Pluto has always been part of our solar system family, so it gets to be colored in. Now I'm moving on to my achievements list. I actually saw this from, can you guess, Cindy Ginter-Baldo. She uses a similar technique where she makes an intentions list rather than a to-do list, because sometimes people put an expectation on themselves that they really can't ever achieve. So by saying my habits are an achievement, then that kind of frames it in a different way rather than seeing it as I have to do this or else I'm failing at life. It's more like, I did this, that's awesome, and I deserve to be kind of rewarded for it just by seeing it on the paper and seeing how often that I did the things that I need to do. And this is something that I've been doing for a couple months now that I really think helps me, but I haven't seen it in a lot of other people's bullet journal videos, is that I will put the day under the date. So I have the number that tells me what the date is, but I also have the day of the week, and that mainly just helps me out as a college student because I have certain classes on certain days, and sometimes I can't remember what date something is due, but if I know it's due this Thursday and then I see that it's Wednesday, I'll be like, oh yeah, I have something due on Thursday. And I think that other people could possibly benefit from using that, but I just don't see anyone else doing it. So if you do that, leave me a comment. I also always have my sleep and mental health tracker, and I've actually been recently debating whether I want a sleep tracker because I am pretty much fine with operating on whatever amount of sleep that I can get. I think I'm more interested in what time I go to bed rather than how long I fall asleep, and that could easily be added to my achievements list as just bed by 12 or bed by 11 or something like that. But I decided to do it for this month just because I have my layout set up already and I didn't have time to figure out a new one. Then I'm moving on to my lettering and food spread. I originally gave the lettering 2 pages like I did last month, but I realized that this month I didn't really want to do bubble letters anymore, which were going to take up the most space. I wanted to go back to doing cursive. So since I'm doing cursive, it'll be easier for me to make them smaller and put it on one page, which gives me enough room to make my food tracker. And I was tracking my food in my planner at one point, and then I moved it into my bullet journal, but just on the weekly spreads. But since I am trying to be more healthy and eat better food, like to fuel my body instead of just survive, I want to keep track of what I'm actually eating. So what did I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe code it as this was a healthy choice, this was not as healthy of a choice, and this was a horrible choice, as well as having some room for snacks because I gave myself a pretty small amount of space for each meal, so I gave myself an extra room to put any snacks. So maybe something that wasn't my meal, but I still ate it that day. And hopefully this will help me stay on track with my eating and making better choices, because the way that I think I'm going to code it is highlighting things with green, yellow, and red to see if they were good choices or not so good choices. And if I see a lot of red choices in a row, I'll be like, I should probably eat a vegetable today. So that's probably how I'll end up using it. I also realized that while recording, I totally forgot to decorate my achievements page, so we're going to do that now. And I just picked out some kind of space-themed washi. It's really the only washi I have that has stars on it. Someone from a Facebook group I'm in actually gave me a really great sample of black washi with gold foiled stars, but I used it all up on one of my planner pages, and you can see that in my beginner planner flip through, which I'll definitely link in the description. And I really should buy some more space-themed washi because I want to use it more often than you might think. And I have a bunch of space stickers, which kind of was the main inspiration for using this theme, because every time I flip through my stickers, some of these are too big to use for planning if I have a really busy week, but I have a whole lot of them. So I decided the best way to use them up would be to make my theme for my bullet journal space, and then I could just use a bunch of space stickers, and then the rest I could just save for later, or maybe do another space theme eventually, but I think I'm a bit spaced out right now, no pun intended. And if you can't tell, I really like to try new things in my bullet journal because I'm kind of on a quest to find the perfect system for me, but I can't have it yet, I just have to find it first. So a new thing that I'm doing this month is the best and worst kind of spread, and the idea for this came from my trouble with rating my days on my actual mental health scale on the other page. I have a lot of trouble kind of distinguishing between good days and bad days versus an afternoon that I had a bad time mental health wise compared with an otherwise pretty good day. So this is kind of to see the spectrum of the day. So if something really great happened but I didn't feel so good at the end of the day, I'll be able to see kind of what affected my mental health rather than just this was a horrible day with no description, which is kind of what I was getting from my other chart when it was on its own. This spread was actually really helpful in using up some of these bigger stickers, and I always kind of forget how big 31 spaces in my bullet journal is. But I am pretty decently able to fit in a bunch of these cute like astronaut stickers, and I think my favorite one is the UFO that's like extracting something out of the ground. I just think that one's really cute. And then I put a drop shadow on my letters, which I actually haven't done a lot, but is a really easy way to kind of make your lettering stand out on the page. And I just use the dark blue that I have in my Enjoy gel pens to kind of color in to the left and on the bottom of the letters. And I think the hardest part to do this is just the curved letters because they're so kind of weird. It's not as easy as the like angular letters. So now I'm going to be decorating my weekly and a half. Since the month kind of ended in the middle of the week, I just decided to start November on Thursday rather than using a whole week of October and November in either October or November. So if you saw in my flip through in the beginning, I did a week and a half on that spread, and then I'm doing the same week and a half on this spread. And I actually broke out my brush pen for once, which is kind of like the reason I bought it was to use it, and I haven't been, so I decided to use it, and I think it actually turned out pretty well. I think I still have to work on my thin upstrokes, definitely, but my cursive is definitely getting better because of my lettering practice. And here's another fun technique that I keep doing. In my previous week and a half spread, I used a squiggly line to kind of define the borders of the pages because it kind of felt like all of my stickers and stuff were floating in space and I didn't really like how open it was. So I put a border on of a squiggly line with my gel pen, and it made it so much better, and I used that in this spread as well. And of course, more of those little stickers. I actually think these stickers are from a giveaway that I won. I got like a whole bunch of, not reject stickers, but just stickers that didn't fit the woman's taste who had the giveaway. And there were some really cute ones in there. So I used those up, and they were just the perfect size to use in a bullet journal because they're decorative without kind of taking up a ton of space. And now you get to see a magic trick. Oh my gosh, you cannot believe how proud I am of that edit. That was actually inspired by Ecoslab, and he's actually like a video game YouTuber, but a while back I was watching him and he does these awesome transitions between scenes in his videos, and I wanted to try it out, and I think I did pretty well. And now I'm just using my gel pen, which is listed in the description, to add these little crosses and dots which are supposed to look like stars. And while I was decorating these, I actually smudged a few, which is fine because now they're just shooting stars, so you really can't go wrong with this. And I also used black acrylic paint for the background. I know I said I didn't want to do as much paint, but I really didn't want to do intricate painting with colors, but I definitely could just zone out for 20 minutes and paint the background black. And now I'm going to make a tip-in, is what I believe they're called. I'm just drawing the earth on it, or kind of my interpretation of the earth in an artistic way. And this is going to actually be my lettering prompts list. I usually would put my lettering prompts just saved in a folder on my phone because I use a digital list. However, I can't really do that as easily because I would need to have my phone that has enough charge that I can look at my photos, and I must be allowed to use my phone, which I usually can't in class, and that's usually when I have my bullet journal out and I would remember to do my lettering challenge. So this is kind of just like a little shortcut to make sure that I can do my lettering every day, because that's the challenge, is to get better by doing some every single day. And I think this will actually really help me with that. A few of these prompts were actually kind of shortened by myself when I was writing them down. These are Cindy Ginter-Baldo's prompts, and if you can't tell, I like to do her lettering challenge every month, and they aren't available to the public right now, I don't believe. However, I was able to see them because I am one of her patrons on Patreon. You can actually support me on Patreon if you would like to. There's a link in the description, but I really like what Cindy does, so I wanted to support her by being a patron. And to actually install this, I'm just going to put it on my lettering page and put washi tape down one side and cut it and then lay it down exactly where I want it and then flip it over, and then to reinforce the other side I'm going to put another strip of washi tape so that way all of the sticky sides are covered and it'll be more secure in the page. As I go through the final flip through, please leave me a comment if you like this video, then you can like it as well, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Bye!